Continuing from the previous chapter, after the initial test concluded, Xiao Yan and his group entered the official points-based selection tournament held in the Forest of Yin Corpses, a place filled with demonic spirits and ghosts. As soon as Xiao Yan's three-person team stepped into the entrance of the Forest of Yin Corpses, they were met with a pitch-black tunnel. The tunnel seemed to lead deep into the forest, and a chilling, eerie aura filled the air. However, given Xiao Yan and his team's strength, this aura posed no real threat to them. Xiao Yan carefully observed the tunnel of the Forest of Yin Corpses. It was peculiar, with stones protruding from the walls like the jagged teeth of a hungry wolf, ready to devour anyone who dared to enter. The towering rocks on either side of the passage looked like sinister fangs, creating a terrifying atmosphere. He also noticed that the entrance they had just passed through was protected by a mysterious formation set up by a powerful cultivator. The formation was intricate, containing the dual energies of yin and yang. Anything that touched the formation would be dissolved, indicating that this was an extremely dangerous barrier, impassable for most. The only way to enter was through this entrance. Xiao Yan was secretly amazed, thinking that whoever set up this formation must have been a battle array master. Just from sensing the formation's subtle energies, Xiao Yan could tell that this master could inscribe tens of thousands of core inscriptions. Putting aside his amazement, the three of them proceeded down the tunnel, quickly arriving at a fork. Xiao Yan noticed that this was already within the inner area of the Forest of Yin Corpses. There were 4 paths ahead. On the second path to the left, a clear footprint was visible, indicating that someone had entered before them. Yuru noticed the footprint and pondered. The Forest of Yin Corpses wasn't exclusive to those from the Red Mountain base. Participants from all bases were gathering here. So, it wasn't surprising that others had arrived before them. This footprint seems deliberately left to signal which path was taken, Xiao Yan remarked quietly. He then chose the far right path, deciding to distance himself from the person who left the footprint. He wasn't interested in an immediate confrontation, preferring to avoid unnecessary conflict. Mu Feng and Yuru followed Xiao Yan's lead. After walking for a short while, their view began to widen, revealing the true face of the Forest of Yin Corpses. A chilly wind howled through the trees, casting an eerie and sinister atmosphere over the forest, which was perpetually shrouded in a gray, sunless haze. The group paused for a moment, then cautiously continued forward. Having just exited the tunnel and entered the first layer of the Forest of Yin Corpses, they found themselves in a small forest. The forest wasn't large, with a narrow path cutting through its center. Alongside the path, the dense foliage was unexpectedly beautiful, making it hard to believe this was a battleground left over from the Great War between the mystic Three Heavens and the Ghost Realm. Xiao Yan murmured to himself, perhaps this Forest of Yin Corpses is also a hidden paradise of sorts. Otherwise, why would so many demonic spirits and ghosts gather here? Yuru, seeing the beautiful flowers, relaxed a bit. After all, there wasn't a girl who didn't love beauty and flowers. Mu Feng, looking at the surrounding blooms, remarked, I sense powerful presences nearby. Not sure who they might be, but we should be cautious. We're likely still on the outer perimeter of the first layer of the Forest of Yin Corpses. We shouldn't encounter any particularly powerful entities here, he added. Agreed, Xiao Yan and Yuru replied softly. The three continued slowly, and within less than a quarter of an hour, they reached the end of the forest. Before them appeared a cave. Looking at the cave, Xiao Yan's first impression was of a place filled with overwhelming ghostly energy, a place deeply sinister. The cave was deep, but Xiao Yan's spiritual sense had already mapped out the initial section of the interior. Unfortunately, beyond that point, the ghostly energy was so dense that it blocked Xiao Yan's perception, seemingly interfering with his soul power. Since his soul power had advanced to the Imperial Realm Mortal Grade, Xiao Yan found he could use his soul energy not only for soul attacks, but also to explore mysterious places. Should we go in? Yuru asked, biting her lip. She could also sense the presence inside the cave, and her voice carried a note of hesitation. Yuru was not like Xiao Yan, who had spent years surviving life and death struggles. She felt a bit apprehensive about facing the unknown. Don't worry, Xiao Yan reassured her gently, patting her back. All right. Yuru relaxed. She didn't know when it started, but as long as Xiao Yan was by her side, nothing seemed impossible. Mu Feng couldn't help but feel a bit resigned. The bond between these two was quite evident. Not wanting to be a third wheel outside the cave, Mu Feng stepped forward cautiously. Inside the cave, he noticed some peculiar things. Seeing this, Xiao Yan and Yuru followed him inside, understanding that they were a team and should stick together. Upon entering the cave, the dim light inside became even fainter, but thankfully, Xiao Yan had summoned his heavenly flames to illuminate their path. The group advanced slowly. Xiao Yan carefully inspected the surroundings of the cave, finding nothing but an even denser concentration of ghostly energy than outside. Mu Feng led the way, Yuru stayed in the middle, and Xiao Yan himself covered the rear. The three of them gradually ventured deeper into the cave. At this moment, Xiao Yan's immense spiritual power was carefully probing the depths of the cave, where the ghostly energy was most intense. As Xiao Yan unleashed his vast spiritual power to explore the cave's depths, he realized there seemed to be no other entities there, but he sensed a faint presence of something alive deep within. However, the feeling was too vague to be certain. Wait. Mu Feng, who was at the front, suddenly called out, "HM? What is it?" Xiao Yan responded, looking around. With the illumination from the heavenly flames, he saw nothing unusual. "Look over there," Mu Feng said, pointing with his finger. The other two followed Mu Feng's gaze and were stunned to see a wisp of flame hanging mid-air. The flame was a ghostly blue-green. It burned slowly in the air. At first glance, Xiao Yan noticed that this flame emitted not a trace of heat, as if it were merely a decoration. Just as Xiao Yan was feeling perplexed, the flame suddenly surged towards them with alarming speed. "Watch out!" Xiao Yan reacted swiftly, pulling Yuru towards him while forming a protective light shield of Do Qi in front of his body. Meanwhile, in another chamber by the cold pool, "You all go ahead. This time, we must capture these humans in one sweep and avenge our past humiliation." A voice echoed from within the cold pool. "What about these two?" Netherspring asked. "I will devour them. After that, my strength should recover considerably. However, to restore my full power, I still need the other half of the essence from the Forest of Yin Corpses. After all, we are one and the same." An eerie presence emerged from within the cold pool. "All the subordinates here have already left. Let's head to the Forest of Yin Corpses to make our preparations. We will return once the master has devoured these two. We'll capture all of them in one go." Malevolent Ghost Spirit laughed. "All right," came a voice from the cold pool. "Let's go." With those words, Nether Spring and Malevolent Ghost Spirit transformed into a plume of black smoke and vanished. The stone chamber returned to silence. Bubbles continued to surface in the cold pool, and a sinister voice echoed within the stone chamber. "A 5-star Do D and a 6-star Do D human expert. They'll be quite the feast." With that, the voice fell silent again, and as the blood-red hue in the pool gradually faded, it signaled the moment when the two would be devoured. At this time, standing before the cold pool, Hu Du and Wu Jiang had a sinister smile flicker across their faces before quickly disappearing. The ghostly flame in midair seemed to sense the strength and weakness of its targets and moved to attack Yuru. However, just as the ghostly flame was about to strike Yuru, she suddenly froze in a strange trance. Xiao Yan swiftly pulled Yuru behind him and, with his other hand, delivered a heavy blow to the ghostly flame. Bang! 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 Under Xiao Yan's assault, the ghostly flame was instantly shattered into pieces. "Are you all right?" Xiao Yan asked with a furrowed brow. "I'm fine. It's just that this ghostly flame seems peculiar, specifically targeting my soul," Yuru said thoughtfully. Xiao Yan nodded, realizing that when he attacked the ghostly flame earlier, he sensed an unknown power within it. However, one thing was certain. This mysterious force was specifically designed to attack and destroy a person's soul. "Be careful," Xiao Yan said in a serious tone. "Mu Feng, with your extensive knowledge, what do you think this thing is?" Xiao Yan asked, turning his head toward Mu Feng. "Typically, ghostly flames are found in burial grounds. Decaying corpses release certain strange substances, and in an enclosed environment, this can create ghostly flames, Mu Feng explained. However, ghostly flames are usually mindless, ownerless entities that don't attack people. This is quite unusual, he continued in a low voice. It might be something inside this cave that's controlling the ghostly flame, Mu Feng speculated. Given his years of dealing with demons and spirits, it wasn't hard for him to guess. Hearing this, the three of them became extra cautious and continued deeper into the cave. Xiao Yan's vast spiritual power enveloped the cave along the way, ready to fend off any dangers. Xiao Yan's expression showed a hint of surprise as his dispersed spiritual energy detected different information. It seemed there was a powerful creature hidden deep within the cave. Unfortunately, ghostly energy surrounded the creature's body, blocking Xiao Yan's probing, so he could only discern so much. In the past, with his exceptional spiritual power, he could perceive things that others couldn't. But now, this was something Xiao Yan had never encountered before. The three continued forward slowly and soon reached the cave's central area, where the ghostly energy was incredibly dense. Clearly, a powerful specter was hiding here to cultivate. The arrival of Xiao Yan and his companions caused a stir in the cave. Countless black gases transformed into various shapes in midair, appearing quite bizarre. Simultaneously, a torrent of black energy surged towards the three, seemingly intent on devouring them. Xiao Yan glanced at the black gases surrounding them, a hint of surprise in his eyes. At that moment, a fierce, domineering aura suddenly erupted from him, his entire body enveloped in flames, resembling a fire deity descending to the mortal realm. Instantly, the black gases were forced to retreat and gather together, unable to withstand his power. A silent, ghostly wind howled through the cave, creating a terrifying atmosphere. Xiao Yan's lips curled into a faint expression of confusion. The flames around him flared brilliantly, illuminating the entire cave. The black gases in midair were instantly exposed, revealing their true forms. Just then, a dark shadow suddenly lunged at Xiao Yan from behind, its monstrous shape seeming to want to tear him apart and devour him whole. At the same time, 9 other shadows darted from 9 different directions, each carrying a unique aura, all ferociously charging at Xiao Yan. "Watch out!" Xiao Yan shouted, and then his immense flames attacked all 9 directions simultaneously. The violent energy within the heavenly flames, being of extreme yang and hardness, had a great suppressive effect on the ghostly energies. The 9 shadows were defeated under Xiao Yan's assault, and then merged into one, fleeing deeper into the cave. "Don't chase them," Xiao Yan said, stopping his companions. All of this happened in an instant, leaving Mu Feng with a newfound respect for Xiao Yan. Meanwhile, in the cold pool, the blood-red water slowly began to clear. "It is time," an eerie voice echoed from within the pool, followed by 2 black beams shooting out from the cold pool. The black beams wrapped around Hu Du and Wu Jiang and pulled them toward the pool. As soon as the black beams touched the two, they seemed to vanish mysteriously. "Heh, I wondered who could be so bold." "So, it's the twin ghost emperors," a mocking voice slowly echoed in the stone chamber. "Who's there?" a startled voice called from within the cold pool. "Who else could it be but the very 2 you wish to devour?" The voice continued, and 2 figures appeared. It was Hu Du and Wu Jiang. "Since you know my name, why not surrender now?" A cold snort came from the cold pool. "Heh, under normal circumstances, we wouldn't be able to beat you. But now, you've only just broken free from your seal, and you're merely in your single-bodied form. Why should we fear you?" Wu Jiang sneered. "Enough with the talking. Let's just kill him and avenge the fallen rookies." Hu Du said angrily. "Damn it, how are you not affected by the soul-bewitching powder?" A puzzled voice echoed from the cold pool. "It's not our first day dealing with you specters. If we couldn't guard against such tricks, we wouldn't be here now," Wu Jiang retorted, his power surging to its peak. "What's the matter? Planning to run? Even after absorbing so much blood, you still haven't regained your strength?" Wu Jiang taunted as he and Hu Du positioned themselves to attack the cold pool from both sides. "Haha, do you think you can kill me with just a mere 5-star Do D and a 6-star Do D? Utter nonsense." A roar erupted from within the cold pool. Hu Du and Wu Jiang, their terrifying strength fully unleashed, advanced step by step toward the cold pool. They knew well that the true strength of the twin ghost emperors could rival a human 7-star Do D. It had taken an immense effort to seal them back then. Now, with the seal only partially broken and the other half still trapped in the Forest of Yin Corpses, Hu Du and Wu Jiang were confident in facing the twin ghost emperors. Heaven-scorching palm. Inferno desolation finger. Hu Du and Wu Jiang knew the twin ghost emperors were currently at their weakest, so they launched their attacks with all their might. A terrifying palm print and a finger strike, infused with immense power, hurtled towards the cold pool. The two fearsome energies swept through the stone chamber, creating an overwhelming aura. Damn it! Ghost explosion. The twin ghost emperors in the cold pool shouted furiously. They realized that, having just broken free from the damnable seal, they were too weak. Facing a 5-star Do D and a 6-star Do D in such a state would lead to a disastrous outcome. Without any hesitation, the twin ghost emperors instantly triggered an explosion of their own ghostly energy, resonating with the ghostly energies in the cold pool and the tunnel. A terrifying explosion erupted within the passageway. Damn it! Let's go! Wu Jiang commanded sharply as he and Hu Du swiftly retreated from the area. Heaven-scorching palm. Inferno desolation finger. The two terrifying Do techniques clashed fiercely with the self-detonation of the Ghost Emperors. Even though Hu Du and Wu Jiang wanted to kill the Ghost Emperors once and for all, it was to no avail. After all, their predecessors could only seal them and not kill them. Reluctantly, they ceased their attack and fled the scene. Boom, boom, boom. Terrifying energy flooded the passageway, reducing the cold pool to a ruin and obliterating the stone chamber entirely. When the horrifying explosion subsided, only chaos and destruction remained. Cough, cough, cough. Damn it! Next time, I'll make sure you never return, the twin ghost emperors muttered weakly. At this moment, their true form became visible. They had a face just like a human, but the strange thing was, their body seemed perfectly split down the middle. The left side had a human face, a single hand, and a single leg, while the right side was as blank as a sheet of paper, devoid of any features. Hu Du and Wu Jiang returned to their quarters, only to discover that the selection tournament had already started. Damn it! We miscalculated the time. The selection tournament has begun. We must hurry to the Forest of Yin Corpses, where the other half of the twin ghost emperors is still sealed. Now that the cold pool is destroyed and the ghost emperors are gravely wounded, if the two halves reunite, they'll be beyond our capability to handle. No time to waste, let's go, Hu Du said firmly. They knew very well that truly killing the twin ghost emperors would be extremely difficult, but their combined efforts had severely wounded them. Agreed, Wu Jiang responded. The people of Crimson Valley seemed to have left too. Where could they have gone? Wu Jiang sensed the sparse presence at Red Mountain. Valley Master, everything is ready. We can set off now, a shadowy figure reported respectfully to Hong Yi. Let's move out. Leave a few to guard Red Mountain. The old, weak, sick, and disabled. This time, we must succeed. No room for failure. Hong Yi commanded. With that, a large group appeared on the spatial teleportation array, leading to the Forest of Yin Corpses. We're almost there. This time, our target is the third layer of the Forest of Yin Corpses. Phantom Spring Ghost Spirit and Malevolent Ghost Spirit led a formidable group of specters toward the Forest of Yin Corpses. At the outer perimeter of the Forest of Yin Corpses, despite the presence of formations, many members of major sects were still stationed there, guarding the area. Meanwhile, Xiao Yan and his two companions continued deeper into the cave. Earlier, as the 7 dark shadows charged at Xiao Yan, several were instantly blasted away by his powerful flame attack, slowly dissipating into wisps of smoke and vanishing into the air. The remaining shadows were evidently quite formidable. Even under Xiao Yan's intense flame attacks, they were merely pushed back rather than destroyed. After a brief clash, the dark shadows seemed to realize that Xiao Yan was not someone to be trifled with. They turned around and fled deeper into the cave. Xiao Yan observed the retreating 7 shadows and sensed that their auras seemed to be artificially created. Moreover, the presence emanating from deeper within the cave was getting closer. The three of them cautiously advanced and eventually reached the cave's deepest point, discovering a rather spacious area. In the center of this space stood a wolf-shaped statue, conspicuously prominent. "What is this?" Mu Feng, feeling emboldened, stepped forward and touched the wolf-shaped statue. "Be careful." Xiao Yan furrowed his brow and grasped Yuru's delicate hand. Since he had promised Yu to take care of Yuru, he couldn't afford to break his word. Yin Yang of heaven and earth, infinite 8 trigrams, phantom shadow maze, appear. Mu Feng muttered softly, his body radiating a blue-green glow. As Mu Feng's incantation ended, the wolf-shaped statue in front of them slowly began to crack. The layers of stone covering the wolf statue fell off one by one, revealing its true form underneath. To their surprise, it was a living wolf. Strangely, the wolf statue had transformed into a lifelike wolf, but its eyes were dull and lifeless, resembling those of a puppet. The three of them exchanged glances, each wary of the situation. Xiao Yan's dark eyes scanned the area carefully, as he sensed some other auras here. The wolf in front of them seemed to be just a puppet. This should be the deepest part of the cave. As Xiao Yan noted, there were no further paths. Suddenly, the flames above Xiao Yan's head began to surge violently, transforming into a fire dragon that spiraled out, weaving through the cave. Waves of intense heat, like the flames of hell, scorched everything inside the cave. The surrounding air filled with eerie winds and countless wailing sounds, chilling and terrifying. Since the shadows that had attacked them earlier fled here, and with no other exits in sight, Xiao Yan was certain they were still here, prompting his current actions. With one hand behind his back, Xiao Yan cautiously surveyed the surroundings and said softly, "Let's see if you dare not reveal yourselves." With that, he controlled the fire dragon above his head to strike toward a dark spot on the left. In an instant, red flames clashed with the black mist that had attacked them earlier, creating a rare spectacle. In midair, the fire dragon, with its gaping mouth and fierce eyes, swiped its claws furiously, battling the flickering black cloud. The rolling heat waves collided with the chilling cold air, producing a sizzling sound that was particularly piercing. A flash of cold light appeared in Xiao Yan's eyes as he suddenly retracted the fire dragon, causing the red glow to vanish and plunging the surroundings into darkness. In the pitch-black space, the shadow noticed the disappearance of the fire dragon and moved quickly. However, none of its actions escaped Xiao Yan's perception. The moment the shadow began to move, Xiao Yan's immense doqi re-emerged, and the fire dragon once again rotated above his head, its flickering red light illuminating every corner of the cave. Xiao Yan and his two companions stared at the flickering, sinister glow of the black mist before them. Mu Feng gave Xiao Yan a signal, indicating that dealing with this type of specter was his specialty. With a steady voice, Mu Feng said, "Are you going to show yourself, or do you want me to force you out?" Suddenly, a hoarse voice emanated from within the black mist. "Human brat, don't push your luck. This is the Forest of Yin Corpses, not a place for humans like you. If you don't leave now, don't blame us for what happens next." The eerie voice carried a hint of menace. Mu Feng stared coldly at the dark mist, sneering, "Even though you are several entities in one, I can still force you to reveal your true form. By then, it might be too late for you. Ever since I entered this cave, I've noticed many human skeletons. It seems you've killed quite a few humans, haven't you? So today, you're destined to be eradicated. Specters and humans have always been mortal enemies. Not to mention, given how many humans you've slain, our actions today are also in revenge for those who have died." The sinister voice responded, "Though there's something strange about the aura around you, don't be arrogant and ignorant. Many have come here before you, spouting arrogant words, only to die here and become our feast. You won't leave here alive today either. Even though there's something odd about your aura, surviving is impossible for you." As the voice fell silent, 6 more shadowy figures materialized from the black mist and charged at Mu Feng. Xiao Yan observed closely and saw that the creatures were all starving wolves, each varying in size but all with a ferocious appearance. He channeled his vast spiritual power to examine the 6 wolves' heads. A faint, sinister aura hovered above them, indicating they were clearly not benign entities. The moment the 6 wolves appeared, their eyes fixated on Mu Feng, as if he were a delicious meal. The wolves moved like the wind, their speed incredible. Their sharp claws and fangs gleamed with a chilling light as they lunged at Mu Feng from different directions. It was evident from this scene that these wolf demons were well-versed in cooperative attack techniques and had a deep understanding of tactical maneuvers. Mu Feng's eyes flashed with a cold light. He knew these wolves were no ordinary wild animals, and that he needed to be careful and not underestimate them. Xiao Yan guided Yu to move aside, creating space for Mu Feng to fight. The two of them moved about 10 feet away from Mu Feng, carefully avoiding the fierce wolf demons. Seeing this, Mu Feng's expression turned slightly sinister. He glanced back briefly and then calmly waited for the wolves' next round of attacks. At this moment, Xiao Yan felt quite composed. He wasn't in a hurry about accumulating points since they still had a month left. Moreover, he sensed some unusual power emanating from the black mist. Since he had come here to improve his skills in dealing with specters, especially given that he had never faced such entities before, Xiao Yan paid close attention to Mu Feng's maneuvers against the wolves, hoping to learn some strategies for reacting to and combating these enemies. Yu, like Xiao Yan, was also new to facing specters. Though she had been through training, she had never encountered such entities. Her dark eyes moved slightly as she watched Mu Feng closely. At this moment, Mu Feng withdrew the strange green glow around him. With a slight flick of his finger, his spatial ring flashed, and a green sword appeared in his hand. The wolf's first attack was deftly dodged by Mu Feng using his swift footwork. The second wave of attacks came swiftly after. Facing the wolf's assault, Mu Feng simply wielded his long sword. His body moved as if a sheep entering a tiger's den, sliding into the encirclement of the 6 wolves in an instant. Just as the 6 starving wolves were taken aback, Mu Feng's sword glowed with a faint green light and swiftly struck 6 times, each slash targeting a different wolf. Mu Feng's sword technique was essentially a method of channeling his dou qi into the blade and then swinging it with force. He didn't employ any specialized swordsmanship techniques. Otherwise, the power would have been astounding. Nonetheless, with his sword and this level of attack, killing these 6 wolf demons was a task easily accomplished. The long sword in Mu Feng's hand trembled and danced, powerful dou qi converging on the blade. Instantly, a sword beam formed around him. Countless sword beams appeared, slashing horizontally and vertically at the wolves. Though some wolves managed to evade, the sheer number of attacks meant they couldn't avoid them all. In a flash, the beams struck the 6 wolves, eliciting piercing howls. They quickly disintegrated into wisps of black mist and vanished without a trace. The 6 starving wolves, with menacing expressions, charged at Mu Feng. Unexpectedly, the sword beams Mu Feng released were formidable. In a blink, 4 of the wolves turned into black smoke and disappeared. Of the remaining 2, one was gravely injured and on the verge of death, while the other remained unscathed, its eyes gleaming with ferocity as it glared at Mu Feng. This unscathed wolf seemed to be the leader of the pack. The nearby black mist emitted a subtle aura that slowly drifted toward the lifelike but expressionless wolf statue in the space. Sword energy surged wildly, causing dust and debris to fill the cave. However, Xiao Yan and Yu, with their keen vision, were not significantly affected. Mu Feng's figure danced in midair, his sword emitting intense green light. The formidable sword beams left the remaining wolf with no place to hide. Seeing this, Mu Feng sneered, "Surrender now, or face the sword." With those words, the green light from Mu Feng's long sword flared up. Layers of sword beams formed a circular barrier, enveloping the lone wolf inside and quickly closing in on it. The starving wolf darted left and right, desperately trying to break free from the layers of sword light surrounding it. However, the moment it touched the green sword glow, its body shrank back immediately. In no time, the wolf let out a miserable, ghostly wail as its body was slowly devoured by the green sword light. Seeing the wolf subdued, Mu Feng did not let down his guard. He flicked his right hand, and a powerful sword aura, infused with the mysterious energy of the Yin-Yang 8 trigrams art, combined with Mu Feng's incantation, swept instantly toward the dark mass of mist. Suddenly, a black vapor shot forward to meet Mu Feng's sword light. The collision of these two opposing forces triggered an explosion, filling the air with sharp, resounding booms. Mu Feng's green sword beam broke through the outermost layer of the black mist, shooting rapidly toward the dark shadowy mass. Just as it was about to strike, a black pillar of light burst out from the black mist, intercepting Mu Feng's sword light. A metallic clashing sound echoed through the air as the black pillar of light dispersed Mu Feng's sword aura, leaving him momentarily surprised. "Oh!" Mu Feng muttered in astonishment. Xiao Yan carefully studied the black mist swirling around in midair, a contemplative look in his eyes. With the outermost layer stripped away, the true form of the black object was revealed. It looked very much like a wolf fang, though much thicker and longer, measuring several feet in length. Xiao Yan couldn't have guessed that these specters also understood the way of weapons. Clearly, there was more to this cave than met the eye. Many secrets seemed to lie hidden here. Silently watching the flying wolf fang, Xiao Yan's body suddenly emitted a brilliant radiance. A massive aura filled every corner of the cave. A red glow slowly enveloped Xiao Yan, growing in intensity. He stepped away from Yuru, taking careful strides toward the wolf fang suspended in midair, his gaze cold and unyielding. "Xiao Yan, what are you doing?" Mu Feng called out, his curiosity piqued as he fought fiercely. Xiao Yan's sudden move puzzled him. The cave's atmosphere became tense, and a confrontation between man and specter was slowly unfolding. The cave fell silent, and Xiao Yan stepped up to the wolf fang. He reached out and touched it. The red glow illuminated the black fang, creating a very eerie effect. Mu Feng sensed that a fierce battle was imminent. Suddenly, the cave filled with cold winds, and countless wails and terrifying howls, like the cries of souls in hell, echoed through the cave, inducing a sense of dread. This bizarre scene seemed to hint at something ominous. In the eerie and strange cave, Xiao Yan's body radiated a red glow that enveloped him completely, protecting him from any unforeseen dangers. Above him, a massive red dragon circled and danced continuously, its glow strikingly bright and filled with a mysterious aura. It moved with Xiao Yan as he slowly advanced toward the black mist. At this moment, a sinister voice emerged from within the wolf fang cloaked in black mist. "I didn't expect you to discover me. That truly surprises me. But this is fine. For years, we've been trapped here by you humans, unable to escape. Now that you've come, don't expect to leave here alive. This place will be your final resting place. I will ensure not even your bones remain, devouring you bit by bit." The voice laughed chillingly, the sound sharp and grating. Mu Feng, watching the demon, sneered, "Demon, stop boasting. If you have any skills, show them. From the looks of it, you haven't even managed to take human form. Your cultivation is still far from perfect." The voice replied coldly, "Ignorant human, do you think taking human form is the ultimate goal? How utterly ridiculous. Let me tell you, while taking human form does indeed signify a high level of cultivation, some rare spirits do not pursue this form of transformation. They possess equal, if not greater, strength and leave no trace. That is true mastery. Prepare to die now, pitiful human." As the voice ceased, the cold winds around them howled furiously, and layers of black mist slowly drifted toward the wolf statue that Mu Feng had disturbed earlier. The wolf's eyes snapped open, fixing a piercing gaze on Xiao Yan. A terrifying aura began emanating from the lifelike white wolf, filling the space with its presence.